right, so you guys are having problems losing body fat. Today, I'm going to go over the 5 most important pillars of losing body fat, starting off with the most important and ending with the least. Issue is, a lot of you guys have these totally flip-flopped. Starting off with the most important pillar, that is calorie intake. It is essential that you consume less calories than you expend throughout the day. This is also called the law of thermodynamics. If you don't do this, you won't lose body fat. End of story. For instance, 1 pound of body fat is equivalent to 3,500 calories, meaning that if you are in a 500 calorie deficit every day, by the end of the week, you will lose 1 pound of body fat. And yes, this is easily achievable just by making a few healthy substitutions throughout the day. For instance, here I have a sparkling water with antioxidants and flavoring, which is only 5 calories. So me making the decision to drink this instead of, say, a soda, which is 150 to 200 calories, a couple decisions like that, and I'll easily get a 500 calorie deficit. So simple. Moving on to the second most important pillar, and that is the BMR, basal metabolic rate. This is what a lot of people call your metabolism, and it makes up 60 to 70% of your body's daily caloric expenditure. And a lot of people have the misconception that you can't control your metabolism and it's genetic. Well, that's somewhat true. It's not completely true. You can improve your metabolism by adding muscle to your body. For every 1 pound of muscle you add to your body, it's going to help burn 5 to 10 calories per day just by existing on your body. So while that doesn't sound like a lot, say you add 10 pounds of muscle to your body, that's going to be equivalent to burning an extra 60 calories per day roughly. And over a year, that's going to equivalent to burning an extra 5 to 7 pounds of body fat. So by adding muscle, making sure you're hitting the gym, eating your protein, hitting those protein goals, it's going to help you increase your metabolism and help burn more fat. All right, guys, next we are going to be talking about NEAT. NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this makes up 5 to 10% of your daily caloric expenditure. Essentially what NEAT is just activities that you do throughout the day that aren't considered exercise. So whether that's doing chores around the house or walking around work, that's essentially what NEAT is. And this is important because you can track this and make sure you're getting enough expenditure throughout the day by having something as simple as a step counter or Apple Watch. That's why I hear a lot of people say they need to get their steps in or they need to get 10,000 steps in per day. Essentially, 1,000 steps is equivalent to burning 50 calories. So if you get 10,000 steps in a day, which is like a benchmark number for a lot of people, that means that you burned 500 calories that day. So if you do 500 calories a day throughout a week is 1 pound of body fat. So make sure you get at least your 10,000 steps in a day. Make sure you're tracking it. Get a step counter, Apple Watch, whatever, and it's going to help you lose body fat. All right, guys, next we are going to be talking about TEF, which stands for the thermic effect of food. This is another way of saying how many calories you burn while digesting food. And yes, it does matter the type of food you are eating. For instance, a way to increase your TEF is to increase your protein intake. Reason being, protein has a 25% thermic effect, while as carbs have a 5 to 10% thermic effect, and fats have a 0 to 5%. So say you eat 100 calories worth of a protein source like chicken, you're going to burn 25% of that, or 25 calories, just by your body's mechanism of digesting it. Whereas if you're eating carbs or fats, 100 calories of that. For carbs, you're going to only use 5 to 10 calories, and fats 1 to 5. So when you're choosing what you're eating, make sure that it's high protein opposed to high carbohydrates or fats if your goal is to lose body fat. Fifth and final pillar, we're going to be talking about EAT. This stands for exercise activity thermogenesis. This is going to make up about 5 to 10% of your daily caloric burn. This is the biggest mistake a lot of people make, thinking that exercise is the top priority to burning fat, when in actuality, it is probably the bottom two. Reason being is you can never outrun your mouth. It only takes 5 minutes to stuff down a burger, which is 1,000 plus calories. And in order to burn that off on a treadmill or doing some form of cardio, it's going to take hours. It's still important to do cardio for cardiovascular health, but in terms of fat loss, it's much more important to do resistance training. Reason being, resistance training is going to add muscle to your frame, and that is going to increase your metabolism or your basal metabolic rate. So choose resistance training over cardio if you want to work on losing body fat and making it a lot easier for you to burn that off throughout the day. And that concludes the 5 pillars. To wrap up this video, I'm going to give you the 5 major takeaways. Number 1 being, be in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. Number 2, add more muscle. The more muscle you add, the better your metabolism will be. Increase your basal metabolic rate. Number 3, get a fitness tracker. Track your steps. Make sure you're getting 10 to 15,000 steps in per day. Don't live a sedentary lifestyle. Number 4, prioritize high protein meals. They have a higher thermic effect. Eat foods with high protein. Make sure they're clean, whole food sources. Number 5, prioritize resistance training over cardio. Obviously, you should do both to be healthy, but we want to focus on adding more muscle to that frame. It's going to help you burn fat in the long run.